Hey, everybody. Just to preface this, I'm in off again, on again. Right now I'm off. Volunteer here at Bluestockings, and it's really cool to be reading here again. I've done it once or twice before, and it's always a great time. Caitlin has been basically a mentor to me. Caitlin is who I refer to as my East Coast mentor. I was just visiting my West Coast mentor out in California, and this story, which is a true story actually, I'm going to be reading a short essay, is about one of the last times that I hung out with my West Coast mentor and his girlfriend. So this piece is called Places to Pull Your Pants Down in New York City. I was sitting in the kitchen of a one-bedroom apartment across from Tompkins Square Park on a Thursday evening, drinking Tecate and listening to an artist twice my age I had previously interviewed. We spoke about the popularity of prescription drug abuse amongst my generation and the tradition of writers who took speed to be productive. His girlfriend, a video artist based out of New York, exchanged smiles with the both of us, happy that her boyfriend was in from LA. We sat around drinking Old Crow as he showed me some of his latest sketches and offered to read my manuscript. So far, the night had already been a blast. Here I was, speaking to a man I had always admired, my personal celebrity. The creator of iconic record covers I had played on repeat as a teenager, and his sweet-natured, successful girlfriend feeding me alcohol and weed. But what more can you ask for? The plan that night was to see a few bands in Greenpoint. I was invited, and I happily tagged along as we jumped into a cab and crossed the bridge. I was the kid in the candy store. The walk from where we were dropped off turned out to be longer than thought, but still pleasant. The buzz was strong, my stomach was empty, and the club was packed. A beeline to the bar brought more Tecate, and before I knew it, it was past 10 p.m. So we stood around, the bands having not started yet, and talked about movies. Soon, though, the bands began to show up and say hi to my new friend, shaking his hand as they passed. "Yo, you're gonna get fucked up tonight, right, man?" they asked him. He laughed and then someone offered me an Adderall, a reminder that I had worked the next morning and was being trashed already. I declined, but it was then that I was given the opportunity of a lifetime. "Hey, friends of mine who just graduated art school are here. They're looking for people to be in an adult website. Are you interested?" I'd only known one person who had this opportunity. His duty had been to masturbate on camera. He had previously enjoyed a short-lived career as a performance artist, wearing blackface while dressed as Christ, irritating bloggers, and appearing in hipster party photo books. We shared a love of the outrageous, albeit in different ways. Suffice to say, though, neither one of us had ever actively sought out such employment. Fueled by alcohol, I said, "Absolutely." Without the slightest hint of hesitation. "Great," she beamed. "They're out in the back." I slipped away and pushed the glass door behind me. Now, there were several groups of people standing around smoking. Despite my borderline drunken stupor, I still cringed at the thought of approaching a strange group of mostly women and saying, "Hi, I'm Eric. I'd like to be in your porno, please." Now, I knew what I was about to do wasn't necessarily the most prudent of choices, but I balked at such nerve. Of course, who should appear next to me but she who asked me in the first place? "Did you talk to them? Did they take your picture yet?" "No, who is it exactly?" "Come on," she said, leading me by the arm. "This is Eric, guys. He wants to be on your website." "Hi, Eric," they chimed in unison. "Hey, sure, I'll be on your porno site. What are the details?" I slurred. One woman stepped up with a digital camera, a shorter brunette, while the rest of them continued on with their conversation. One of them seemed a bit off in a way I was unable to place, but I ignored it. "Well, we'll take pictures of your cock. There'll be no headshots, and your name won't be attached to it at all." "Yeah, it sounds good." "Okay, great. Now we just need you to sign a release and photograph your ID." I scribbled my name and email address on a piece of paper I, of course, neglected to read. and then stood there as she struggled to get a snapshot of my driver's license in the poor lighting. Why are you guys doing this? Well, we want a magazine that's like Playboy, only for women. Now, I understood that there are already thousands of magazines and websites that already existed for said purpose, but I stayed quiet because it didn't hurt. They were all attractive and fresh out of art school. Okay, here's the license back. Great! Without prompt, I unbuttoned my fly and flipped it out, half excited at the prospect of a group of women looking at my maleness in a pretty public place. Yeah, I mean, if you guys want to look at a half-hard dick, that's fine. I'm kind of small. A few snaps of the lens, and it was over. They were finished. If we decide to use your photos, we'll email you in advance. I thanked her, zipped up my fly, and walked back inside in search of my friends. So, did they at least give you a fluffer? My buddy asked. No, but I wish they had, though. He laughed and I walked back to the bar. Suddenly, I was next to two people I recognized. A brunette girl with curves, and a black woman in a wig with a rather large Adam's apple. She turned to me and immediately started speaking. I'm a writer, I said. Oh, really? Well, we should connect then. I'm a musician. Here's my card. So, are you bi? It was then that I realized she looked like RuPaul for a reason. No, sorry, I'm straight. But what's your friend's name? The brunette who I had eyed had disappeared, of course. Minutes later, after standing in the dressing room of one of the bands, I thanked both my hosts and left, realizing once again I had an early morning the next day. I somehow stumbled home back to my apartment in Queens. I woke the next morning, hungover, and without an ounce of shame, laughing to myself as I rode the elevated train into Manhattan. The tranny and I later exchanged several emails after both genuine curiosity about his music and with the hope that his friends would attend my upcoming release party. Of course, I never heard back from them about my would-be market porn. Unfortunately, the next time I was asked to pull my pants down by a female would result in a doctor actually physically shushing me in an examination room of NYU Medical Trinity Center. But I did hear back from her, though, because I still owe a co-payment to her office. Thanks, guys.